a couple more pages, and I'm going to end it for the night. Let me see this at midnight. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's get started. I'm on page 862. Chapter 8, The Houses of Healing. Now, as the sun went down, Aragorn and Eomer and Imrahil drew near the city with their captains and knights. And when they came before the gate, Aragorn said, Behold, the sun setting in a great fire. It is a sign of the end and fall of many things, and a change in the tides of the world. But this city and realm has rested in the charge of the stewards for many long years, and I fear that if I enter it unbidden, then doubt and debate may arise, which should not be while this war is fought. I will not enter in nor make any claim until it be seen whether we or Mordor shall prevail. Men shall pitch my tents upon the field, and here I will await the welcome of the Lord of the city. But Eomer said, Already you have raised the banner of the kings and displayed the tokens of Elendil's house. Will you suffer these to be challenged? No, said Aragorn, but I deem the time unripe, and I have no mind for strife, except with our enemy and his servants. And the prince Amradil said, Your words, Lord, are wise. If one who is a kinsman of the Lord in the Thorn may counsel you in this matter. He is strong-willed and proud. But Ode in his mood has been strange since his son was stricken down, yet I would not have you remain like a beggar at the door. Not a beggar, said Aragorn, said Captain of the Rangers. You are unused to cities and houses of stone. And he commanded that his banner should be furled, and he did off the star of the North King dome and gave it to the keeping of the sons of Elrond. Then the prince Imrahil and Eomer of Rohan left him and passed through the city and the turmoil of the people, and mounted to the citadel. And they came to the hall of the tower, seeking the steward, but they found his chair empty, and before the days lay Theoden, king of the Mark, upon a bed of state, and 12 torches stood about it, and 12 guards, knights both of Rohan and Gondor, and the hangings of the bed were of green and white. But upon the king was laid the great cloth of gold upon his breast, and upon that his unsheathed sword, and his feet his shield. The light of the torches shimmered in his white hair, like sun in the spray of a fountain. But his face was fair and young, save that a peace lay upon it beyond the reach of youth, and it seemed that he slept. When they had stood silent for a time beside the king, Amrahiel said, "Where is the steward? And where also is Mithridates?" And one of the guards answered, "The steward of Gondor is in the houses of healing." But Eomer said, "Where is the Lady Eowyn, my sister? For surely she should be lying beside the king, and in no less honor. Where have they bestowed her?" And Imrahil said, "But the Leo Eowyn was yet living when they bore her hither. Did you not know?" Then hope unlooked for came so suddenly to Eomer's heart, and with it the bite of care and fear renewed, that he said no more, but turned and went swiftly from the hall, and the prince followed him. When they came forth, evening had fallen, and many stars were in the sky. And there came Gandalf on foot, and with him one cloaked in gray. And they met before the doors of the houses of healing. And they greeted Gandalf and said, "We seek the steward, and men say that he is in this house." "Has any hurt befallen him? And the Lady Eowyn, where is he?" And Gandalf answers, "She lies within and is not dead, but is near death. But the Lord Firmir was wounded by an evil dart, as you have heard, and he is now the steward. But Denethor has departed, and his house is in ashes." And they were filled with grief and wonder at the tale he had told. But Imrahil said, "So victory is shorn of gladness, and it is bitter. What if both Gondor and Rohan are in one day bereft of their lords? Eomer rules the Rohirrim. Who shall rule the city meanwhile? Shall we not send for the Lord Aragorn?" And the cloaked man spoke and said, "He is come." And they saw, as he stepped into the light of the lantern by the door, that it was Aragorn, wrapped in the great cloak of Lorien above his mail, and bearing no other token than the green stone of Galadriel. "I have come because Gandalf begs me to do so," he said. "Before the present, I am but the captain of the Dunedain of Ornor, and the Lord of Dol Amroth shall rule the city until Faramir wakes. But it is my counsel that Gandalf should rule us all in the days that follow, and in our dealings with the enemy." And they agreed upon that. Then Gandalf said, "Let us not stay at the door, for the time is urgent. Let us enter, for it is only in the coming of Aragorn, that any hope remains for the sick that lie in the house. Thus spake Earith, wise woman of Gondor. The hands of the king are the hands of a healer, and so shall the rightful king be known. Then Aragorn entered first, and others followed. And there at the door were two guards in the livery of the citadel, one tall, but the other scarce the height of a boy. And when he saw them, he cried aloud in surprise and joy, "Strider, how splendid! Do you know, I guess it was you in the black ships. When you were all shouting, Kossars, and wouldn't listen to me, how did you do it?" Aragorn laughed and took the hobbit by the hand. "Well met indeed," he said. "There is not time yet for travelers' tales." But Imrahil said to Eomer, "It is thus that we speak to our kings. Yet maybe he will wear his crown in some other name." And Aragorn, hearing him, turned and said, "Verily, for in the high tongue of old, I am Elisar, the Elfstone, and Ebenyatar, the Renewer." And he lifted from his breast the green stone that lay there. "The Strider shall be the name of my house, if that be ever established. In the high tongue it will not sound so ill. And tell Qatar, I will be, and all heirs of my body." And with that they passed into the house. And they went towards the rooms where the sick were tended. Gandalf told of the deeds of Eowyn and Meriadoc. "For," he said, "long have I stood by them." And at first they spoke much in their dreaming before they sank into the deadly darkness. Also it is given to me to see many things far off. Aragorn went first to Faramir, and then to the Leo Eowyn, and last to Merry. When he had looked on the faces of the sick, and seen their hurts, he sighed, "Here I must put forth of all such power, and still as is given to me," he said. "Would that Elrod were here, for he is the eldest of all our race, and has the greater power." And Eowyn, seeing that he was both sorrowful and weary, said, "First you must rest, surely, and at the least eat a little." But Aragorn answered, "Nay, for these three, and most soon for Faramir. Time is running out. All speed is needed." Then he called to Eowyn, and he said, "He has sworn in this house of the earths of healing." "Yes, Lord," she answered, "but not enough, I reckon, for all that will need them. I am sure I do not know where we shall find more, for all things are amiss in these dreadful days, both fires and burnings, and the lads that run errands for so few, and all the roads blocked. Why, it is days out of counts since ever a carrier came in from Losterblock, to the market, but we do our best in this house with what we have, and as I am sure your lordship will know, I will judge that when I see, said Aragorn. One thing also is short. Time for speech. Have you, Athos? I do not know. I am sure, Lord, she answered. At least not by that name. I will go and ask the Herbmaster. He knows all the old names. It is also called Kingsfoil, said Aragorn, and maybe you know it by that name, or so the country folk call it in these latter days. Oh, that, said Eoth. Well, if your lordship had named it at first, I could have told you. No, we have none of it, I am sure. Why, I have never heard that it had any great virtue. And indeed, I have often said to my sisters, when we came upon it growing in the woods, Kingsfoil, I said, 'tis a strange name, and I wonder why it's called so. For if I were a king, I would have planted plants more bright in my garden. Still, it smells sweet when bruised. Does it not? If sweet is the right word, wholesome, maybe, is nearer. Wholesome, verily, said Aragorn. And now, Dane, if you love the Lord Faramir, run as quick as your tongue and get me Kingsfoil if there is a leaf in the city. And if not, said Gandalf, I will ride to Lochlanach with Eorith behind me, and she shall take me to the woods, but not to her sisters. And Shadowfax shall show her the meaning of haste. Okay, I'm going to stop here for tonight. And it's going to be a little bit more reading in the morning, okay? Okay, because I realize now we're getting close to book 6. Believe it or not. We have the last debate. The Black Gate opens. And then book 6. We have 2 more, believe it or not. 2 more after this one. And, yeah. So it's going to be very interesting. Okay, guys. Laters. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're careful with what you do. You'll hurt yourself or someone else. Okay, later.